There we go. Okay. Hello. Welcome to episode 390 of the Self-Help Podcast with me, Edward Lamb, and my good pal, Sean Orford. How are you, Sean?
I'm stunning. What are we going to do when we get to 400?
I don't know. Some form of celebration, do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, you should take us on a holiday somewhere. Where are you going to take us?
Well, how long is that? So 10 weeks. Yeah, I'm just trying to think now where we are in lockdown and where we might be 10 weeks from now. We'll probably be at the start of like wave 3 by then.
So we just be able to wave to each other.
Yeah, we could we could have a virtual holiday. We can change the background, right? On
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
On
we
our
go to Hawaii.
Background. In fact, can I do it now? Let's have a look. Backgrounds and filters. Here we go. I've got Peppa Pig. For those watching on YouTube, I've got Peppa
There's
Pig.
a pig about to eat your head. Oh, wait a minute.
San Francisco. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
San Francisco.
Yeah, we'll have to think about that. Yeah, if we could distill all our learning over the last 300 odd episodes for episode 400, I wonder what could we come up with? Let's have a think about that, eh? And yeah,
we both get PhDs in something.
A bit of listener participation as well. Maybe we could have some kind of listener special where we get more people involved and have a big Zoom party with everyone. Our dedicated listeners.
Zoom party, I like that.
Yeah, we're talking about giving and receiving this week in kind of light of Christmas on the horizon. We'll get onto that shortly. liveinthepresent.co.uk for all the show notes and links. I've reinstated the little sign up bar on the homepage. So if you put your email address on there, you'll get signed up for the weekly alerts for the podcast, and you'll get some free meditation files sent to you as well. That's all working again, I believe.
And that's, it went down for a bit, didn't it? I had a few people saying, I can't get them.
Yeah, I've been having various website issues in the last few months, actually. I think the site was hacked, and I think there was some weird code hidden away there, which was impossible to find. But I think I've solved it now, and I've got lots of extra security added to the website. So any issues, get in touch with us.
It makes me feel so important that we're important enough to be hacked.
I know, yeah, it's great, isn't it? So yeah, before we come on to the episode at hand, how are you feeling, Sean? And how is life for as a therapist now that we seem to have a bit of light at the end of the tunnel with a few promising vaccinations on the horizon?
I think that it actually makes it a bit more scary. I think that, yes, it looks good, as long as the light at the end of the tunnel isn't the headlight on the front of an oncoming train, then we're fine. The issue that I see at the moment is people are becoming complacent. Oh, no, it's all right now. Yeah, there's that bit that's going on. And that does bother me a bit. I'm amazed how many people are still convinced this is just a conspiracy. It's the government, they're trying to control us. Not, of course, they don't have enough control over us already, but no, they want us to wear masks. So they're training us to be these kind of minions that will do what we're told. Yeah.
I mean, It is a very small, I think, proportion of people that think like that, but they do tend to have loud voices, especially online, and we're all living online at the moment, aren't we? So, I'm seeing them in Facebook comments and on Twitter and all that. But in real life, I don't know. If you actually meet friends and family, does anyone believe in any of that stuff?
I've worked with people over the last few months that are conspiracy theorists that do believe this is the case. And we have the issue locally in Liverpool about people demonstrating about not being prepared to be locked down and not wanting to wear masks and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean they do exist. They are real for sure, but they're a small little fraction of the population, aren't they? But
yeah, I think they should all go and work in intensive care and look after these people that are pretending to be dying.
Yeah, I mean, twice in the last week I've been near to Arrow Park Hospital. Once was to come and drop a present off at your house for your lovely wife, whose birthday it was last week. Shout out to Rick.
27 again.
And then at the weekend, we went for a walk in Arrow Park, the actual park, behind the hospital, and it's kind of weird, as you just kind of glance across and see the huge building there, that to think what's going on in that place, and the protocols and the staff experience, and obviously the people being admitted not just for COVID but for all sorts of reasons, and what they might be going through. It's kind of, don't know, it's quite a strange thing to think about, really. As as I ride past on my bike, or I walk through the park with my kids, having fun. Strange, isn't it?
Bit scary, some of it.
Yeah. But we're coming towards that time of year, aren't we, where for a lot of people it's probably their most favorite time of the year, with Christmas on the horizon and a bit of time off work and New Year. It's going to be a bit different this year. Government are making suggestions and hinting quite strongly that some form of easing of restrictions will allow families to get together. So we're not necessarily going to talk about that, but there's a bit of light for people at this Christmas, to have some form of normal Christmas. Whether we should or not is another question maybe we can come on to. But Christmas is about giving, isn't it? And it's about love. So what's the blog post you've written? What's the crux of the issue, Sean?
I guess that the kind of things that made me think a lot about this is things like people are saying to me, I'm trying to get so-and-so online and they've sold out. And I've heard that repetitively. And on top of that, I've been watching people again going around and holding because of this lockdown. And then people are, I've got to get my Christmas presents in quick in case there's nothing there when I need them. So now we've got the present holding going on. And it comes down to that issue about why are we giving what we're giving? Who are we giving it to? Why are we giving it to them? Is what we're giving an expression of love, or is what we're giving, oh, I need to do that, let's tick the box, tick the list, oh, go around the presents, I'm fine. Yeah, is that what it is? And I think this is a time to reflect, really. I mean, it's supposed to be, hey, the time of joy and happiness and all that kind of stuff. And for lots of people, it's not. And one of the things that I would give a shout out for is there's a lot of people on the street who are living on the street. I see them all the time when I go around the cities, and lots of them are what would have been previously described as psychiatric patients, and then they would be in places of safety, and they're not. They're on the street. And they're not on the street because they're lazy, no do-gooders kind of thing. They are people who are, a lot of them are psychiatrically ill, and they shouldn't be there. But if they are there, spare a thought for them as it's getting cold. And with the lockdowns, they haven't had the footfall of people going through the cities sticking money in their pots.
Yeah.
So they are actually in a state of even worse poverty than the rest of us who are furloughed and everything else,
Yeah.
So spare a thought, and if you can, give a bit, give some food, give some time, whatever, help people.
Yeah. It's been an amazing time, hasn't it, the last 6-9 months, in the sense that and we've had a bit, it's been in the news in the last week or two about how much money's been swirling around to pay for the response to the pandemic. Just astronomical sums. I've just quoted for a bit of website work for a charity that I help at, and they're really good. They have budget set aside that's been funded to pay for marketing stuff. So it's money there that needs to be spent on. But even then, I still felt that little bit of guilt about quoting the amount that they wanted me to quote. But I did anyway. But it's a small amount of money relatively. And then you hear about some of the stories about the people supplying the PPE, equipment, and then the go-betweens that are getting millions of quid just for kind of setting up meetings and business deals. And you just wonder how some of these people sleep at night. Really, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's that internal morality. Either you can or you can't. I'm forever criticised by colleagues that I work with in my area because I don't charge enough. and I'm too generous with time and stuff like that. But there are people that have nothing. And yes, I could be just doing work with top enders and living on my Caribbean island or whatever. But there are a lot of people that need our help, you know, and some of them can afford, some of them can't. I think I said to you a while ago, one year I worked with a lady once a week for a year. She had no money, I didn't charge her anything, she couldn't afford it. And a few years later, I got a Christmas card, Christmas giving, and it had a check in it. And it was something like 2-3 years after we'd finished in what we're doing. And it was really lovely, lovely message in there. And she said, finally, I can afford to give you something for the work that we did, you know, thank you for your help, kind of thing. And, wow. And that was just such a lovely thing to experience, that sense of giving and her wanting to give. You know, I mean, I'd given her what I had, and she was giving me what she could, you know, and that was lovely. But what do we do? What do we do at this time? Do we think, haha, what can I get? When people say to you, what do you want for Christmas?
Yeah.
You think, are you looking at the person thinking, I wonder how much they can afford? Or are you being genuine? You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, my birthday's in December as well. So, you know, for me at this time of year, I get questions starting to be asked from friends and family, you know, either directly or through me missus, you know, what's Ed want for Christmas? What's he want for his birthday? What's he need? And I find it really hard to think of things. And I've got a little list actually I start to keep kind of around October, November of stuff that I would like to have, you know, because it would be useful generally, you know, stuff that I will make good use of. But I find it really hard off the top of my head to think of things that I want as gifts. Is that something that you struggle with as well, or what does Sean?
Well, I forever say, if I can't eat it or drink it, I don't really want it, because I am stuff heavy. I mean, I need to go through the attics here and get lorries in to move stuff and give it away to people, you know.
Yeah.
And we're all the same. We live in this consumer society where we keep gathering stuff. And it's lovely when people give me things, I see the love behind the act, and that's what I receive. I receive the love. The item, in a sense, is neither here nor there. I mean, okay, you know, it's nice to have things, but that idea that somebody cared enough to go and sort it out and think about it and do it. You know, we went on some cooking courses last year, didn't we, to El Forno?
Oh yeah.
And we didn't go on the last one because of the lockdown.
That's right. Yeah, we still have vouchers, don't we? To
it's a ravioli course. Yeah.
Yep.
See, those kind of things to me, they're great, because you go out and you go into an environment that's full of people having a good time. So there's the social bit. You're actually learning a skill that you make something that you then take home and give to your family, and they enjoy it. But then you've got the skill that you can reuse. You know, that's an amazing present, that. Yeah.
I know. I think. Oh yeah, I know. I love getting stuff like that, and yeah, vouchers for experiences and cookery courses, or even food vouchers for restaurants or that kind of thing. Yeah. I love.
Would you like a voucher to jump out of a plane?
Probably not so much. I would do it, you know.
I'm gonna have to send it back now. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, my stuff. I think my list this year is all kind of bike related stuff. I quite fancy a front rack for my bike, so I can start carrying a bit more, you know, shopping and go on adventures, so I can lug stuff around on my bike. That kind of. That's.
Can you have a trailer? You could have a trailer fitted on your bike, couldn't you?
Yeah, I do have a bike trailer, but it only fits my old commuter bike. It doesn't fit my new bike, so I've got my eye on a proper decent Burley trailer from that Burley's the brand.
Burley trailer.
Yeah, they make amazing lightweight trailers for bikes. So yeah, got my eye on one of them as well. And even you know, Brooks makes saddles.
Yeah.
200-year-old company. They make amazing leather bike seats. Yeah, they're a bit pricey. I've seen one of them, but I'm saving up for a nice Brooks saddle as well, just to kind of pimp me bike a little bit.
Brooks was always it was a Brooks saddle and a Brooks saddle bag that
Yeah.
you'd have.
Oh, if you go on their website, mate, I know you've got a super comfy saddle on your e-bike, but their leather saddles, the leather saddles wouldn't quite suit the bike I've got. It's quite a sporty bike, but they make these like natural rubber ones as well with like a cloth finish as well. Beautiful. So anyway, we won't talk about all that stuff, but I was thinking about giving and receiving as well. Some people, and you mentioned this before we came on air, they get a bit embarrassed and shy about receiving a gift. What's all that about?
I think it's about self-esteem. It's like, am I worth this? People get kind of embarrassed, especially if they're opening the gift in front of the person that gave it to them. Because what are they supposed to do? How are they supposed to respond as they open the gift?
Mm.
No. Are they supposed to go, oh, wow, that's amazing? And one of the things I said to you earlier was one of the worst things I ever hear is when people say, oh, you shouldn't have. Does that mean it's crap, or does that mean I'm not worth it? What does it mean?
Yeah, you shouldn't have. And then, have you got the receipt?
But that's another weird thing, isn't it? It's like, should you buy a gift as a gift, but get the receipt so that they can take it back or change it if they don't want it?
Yeah, well, that'd be quite something that's quite often said around Christmas when everyone's dishing out presents. It'll be, oh, I've kept the receipt though. I've kept the receipt if you don't like it. So, it's a polite thing to do, because especially if you're buying clothes like a shirt or a jumper, or I'm hoping to get a new raincoat for Christmas. And if you purchase stuff online, especially clothes, it's not always the perfect fit, is it? So you need to, but yeah. A gift.
But no. There's a difference between sending something back to get a bigger size, as opposed to opening something and thinking, well, that's a load of rubbish, I don't want that, and taking it back to the shop.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally.
I don't know. That whole kind of the politics of receiving is as important as the politics of giving, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got two little boys, so 6 and 8. So and Will's, my eldest, is 9 just before Christmas as well. So it's a proper crazy time of year for us at the moment, or the next month. But the sense of excitement that kids get at Christmas is, there's not, I'm enjoying getting older, and I'm quite, easing into life quite nicely. But I see that sense of excitement, and I remember the sense of excitement that I used to get at Christmas. And that makes me wish I was young again, like a kid, because it's so exciting. I don't know if it was something for you. I know your childhood was a little bit different, but what's your memory of Christmas?
I didn't like Christmases a lot when I was a kid. Christmases and Sundays were the days when my father was predominantly there, and that wasn't a good time for me then.
Right.
So a bit like when we went on holiday, it was a bit of a torture. But I mean, generally, Christmases when I was a kid were quite poor events. There wasn't a lot of money. And I had a few things given to me that were like, oh wow. Like once, when I must have been about 10, I think, I got a crystal set, which was a radio. Have you ever heard of old crystal sets? They don't take any power. They just pick up a signal. You have to kind of connect them to a big aerial and earth them and all that kind of stuff. And I could listen to the home service on the radio, now Radio 4. And my thing was, I had these pair of headphones that came from a Spitfire that I could listen to this radio on. And I would try and stay awake till I could hear the chimes of Big Ben at 10 o'clock. That was my thing, always lying in bed with these headphones on.
Is that a happy memory for you, that radio set?
Yeah, that was good.
Mm.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, so a few things like that. But I mean, overall, I don't know, not easy times. Mm. So, and it was quite interesting for me when I did finally leave home and go to other people's Christmases, how different and kind of jolly and fun-filled affairs they could be. It was quite a shock, that, for me. Yeah. quite weird.
I'm going to link to an article on psychologicalscience.org, and it talks about the joy of giving and how the joy of giving can be greater than the joy of receiving, which, you know, for an 8-year-old boy or a 6-year-old boy, that's a hard thing to understand, you know, because they just want to tear into presents like there's no tomorrow on Christmas morning and the days, you know, afterwards as well. But yeah, what is it about giving that kind of, what's the science behind that, and what is it that gets us there?
I think that emotionally, I think that human beings are designed to work together in groups, and whether you're giving the other members of your group food, whether you're giving them support, if you go and watch chimpanzees and they're always touching each other, it's that kind of connecting. And there's something about that process of giving that has an oxytocin effect in your brain, which is the bonding. Whereas serotonin is the happiness, well-being, oxytocin is the bonding, belonging chemical. It happens a lot between a mother and a child, you know. And I think that's the biggest plug that you get when you give. You get this buzz of goodness that makes you feel good.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. People feel embarrassed about feeling good about giving something to someone. You know, like you're going down the street and someone's in a shop doorway or something, and you give them a few bob to go and have a cup of tea, and then you feel good about the fact that you've done it, and then you feel guilty for feeling good, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter, just feel good, don't feel guilty about it, enjoy it. You know, we're looking after each other. That's what's important.
Yeah, and I mean the act of, like, you know, because we all do have lists to make at Christmas of who we're supposed to be getting presents for, you know, whether it's friends, family, or, you know, nieces and nephews and all that stuff. And it can be a bit of a chore, can't it? Making sure you've made sure you've got for everyone, and you've got a dash aside for it all, and you've spent the same amount of money on everyone, or whatever it might be.
That one always makes me laugh. That it's like, oh, you know, there's maybe a brother and a sister, and I've spent this much on that one and this much on that, and I need to get something else, as opposed to I got them something because I thought they would really like that. It doesn't matter what it cost.
Yeah,
it was the love and the thought. You know?
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a running joke. I've seen it in person. You know, a kid will often take more pleasure from the cardboard box than the thing that came inside the cardboard box. You know, you could get a 3-year-old lad or girl a massive cardboard box that cost you, you know, a few quid from wherever, or you could spend 30 quid in the local toy shop on some plastic tap that they're just not gonna use. But I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a safe bet to get a kid a cardboard box. Maybe.
I don't know. One of the worst things I have ever experienced was having a child in the back of the car, and it was his birthday, coming back from whatever it was, gang kids in the back, and they were going through online to check the value of the things that they've been given.
Wow. Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually going through and actually deciding how much people valued them by what they've got, by what it costs.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
They're going to be
grim.
That's grim. Are they grown up yet? Have you booked them in for therapy 10, 20 years down the line?
Yeah, lifelong therapy.
But I mean, there is joy to be had, isn't there, in that process of deciding on what to get people, not necessarily what they need, but what you think they would love to have. You know, and I've made mistakes over the years, and, you know, as a young man, buying presents for friends and family, thinking that they might enjoy it, and maybe it backfiring slightly, or maybe it'd be something in my head that I think they would want rather than something they really, really would appreciate. But there's quite a lot of pleasure to be had there, isn't there, in enjoying that time of making time to decide what to get someone.
I think that very often people buy something that they would like, and they have that feeling inside themselves, and they assume that the person they're going to give it to will have the same feeling.
Yeah.
And maybe they do. Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. It can be a chore, can't it? it's a weird Christmas this year because we're not, well, right now a lot of shops are shut. There's going to be a mad rush at the retail parks, isn't there, when they open on December the 3rd or whatever. So I might just go and take a deck chair and just sit and watch the chaos unfold.
But that, you know, say I've got this list of people I've got to buy for. So I'm going to go to the shop, and because it's a mad scramble, like a jumble sale, I'm going to end up grabbing things that I can rather than thinking this is appropriate for that person and giving it thought. You know, or how many people this year are going to back away from that completely and just give people money or just give them vouchers or something like that. Yeah. So, especially, I mean, we could be in a situation where people don't even get as far as the shop. You know, depending on whether are we going to come out of lockdown next week?
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. This tier system's coming back in, isn't it? Or an updated tier system. So I think in all versions of the tiers, shops are going to be open, from what I've seen anyway.
We're on a descending curve at the moment.
Yeah.
In cases,
so we can hit the bottom and then start climbing again. Flip their neck. What's your resource of the week, Sean?
I've got a book here which is called it's like Where Giving Meets Business. It's the idea that you can, just because you're in business, and if you think about the money that you make in business as a professional, it's compensation for what you do. Yeah. Now, depending on who you are, you can either rob people blind or you can actually give good service. You know, and that's the giving. And that's a lovely exchange. You know, you give to people in the services and the products that you're providing, and they give you this energy back in the form of money. You know, and that's a nice exchange.
Yeah.
When I was in the Eastern settings and I'd go and see the teacher, there was no money involved, but you take the teacher some food. So there'd be some fruit and some rice and stuff like that, you know, maybe a handkerchief, silk handkerchief, and that would be your payment for the teaching that you were going to get, you know.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? All right, cool. So you're linking to a book. I haven't got a resource as such. I'm just going to encourage people to carve out some time to think about what they're going to get for, not necessarily even buy for their loved ones, but there is the possibility of like making something, isn't there? You know, we've been looking at making cakes and food and all sorts of things potentially, and getting some nice glass jars for it all and that kind of thing. So putting together homemade gifts this year to try and live that. Yeah, I mean,
I always do a biscotti bake for people in the hospital.
Nice.
It's become an annual thing.
Yeah,
make biscotti.
Beautiful. So yeah, look into all that, but make some time to think about what you're going to get, what you can get for people, and what will have the biggest impact. Cool. All right, you happy, Sean? All done?
I'm always happy.
Good to hear it, man. Good to hear it. Well, we'll leave it there then, but I'll catch you again next week for more fun and games, eh?
Okay. You take care. Keep giving.
Right. See you soon, everyone.
See ya. Bye.
Bye. Ta-ra.